The following is a brief video that helps you navigate ETSU's online research databases to locate articles for this class, which is persuasion. So we're starting out at the library's webpage. If nothing else, you could just type in libraries.etsu.edu. See how I use it all the time? And this is where you are. So right here it says, what am I searching for? Avoid this box. It's just a lot of stuff. You don't want that. So we're going up here to research, and then articles and databases. So then the best way is really, it's counterintuitive, but start with P. P is in persuasion, I guess, but what you're looking for is PsycInfo, which is a database. We used to have a database called Communication Abstracts, but they've eliminated that. Okay, so I'm not at ETSU, and so if you're not at ETSU, you're going to see this screen. If you're at ETSU, it'll take you right to the database. I'm not being redirected right now. I'm using Firefox, and I have to hit the allow button, but otherwise I could have used that little link there. Usually, because I've logged in fairly recently, it's not asking me to log in. Typically, if you're doing this from home, there'll be a screen will have asked you for your ETSU username and password. Just put that in. And it looks like the ETSU page, so that's all right. So we're here in PsycInfo. We're going to do one other thing before we start searching. I'm going to choose databases, clicking select all, and this is selecting all the EBSCO databases. EBSCO is the one who owns PsycInfo, and we're adding all their other databases. And so it's getting quite a few. This is a pretty good one. Like I said, the university has stopped carrying communication abstracts, but this one will work fine. So here's my first tip for searching for articles for this class. I'm writing PERSUA and an asterisk. By doing that, I'm telling the database to search for terms that begin with persuade, right, and can end with anything. It can end with persuade, persuasive, persuader, right? So it doesn't matter. So that's the root. But if I had written out persuasion, it might not pick up persuader or persuasive. So I'm doing that. And I'm going to add another word. I'm right in the same box. I'm writing or. I'm writing influence. Right? So persuasion and influence are different concepts as the book talks about, but they're related ideas, so we're just going to go with it. So it's persuade or influence is in the first box. And then let's say that the concept I wanted to look at was authoritarianism. And thankfully, I don't have to test my spelling today. There's authoritarianism. So there is persuade, all things that are persuade or influence, and the word authoritarianism. We're going to do a search and see what we get. 1,500 sources. That's a little too many. So the first thing I can do is go down here, and it's going back to 1940. I can grab that slider and move it, but I'm just going to type in, 1995. So keep it, around there-ish for stuff that's sort of recent. We can do that, and then just hit the search button again. All right, cut down to 1,100. I want to do something else. I want things that are peer-reviewed. Right? So I clicked peer-reviewed, and it dropped it down to just under 1,000. Sometimes you have to hit the button here that says academic journals because for some reason peer-reviewed won't be there. So you have to select academic journals. It's a difference of 29 articles, so it's not a real big difference in this case. If you look at what we have here, this is a good example. I'm using this example on purpose. Authoritarianism gets used many times in politics. It also gets used in studies of parenting, which you can figure out as you start reading some of these things, that you start seeing that some of them are about government. So I'm going to go back up here, and I'm going to say, see, this has been and, right? Persuade or influence. The second box said and. I'm going to now say not, right? But don't give me, but do not give me, right? Politics or political, right? Or government, or parent. And I might miss some things on persuasion and parenting, but there's a lot of stuff on authoritarianism and parenting style, and I'm trying to get that out. Actually, maybe I'll make it parenting. So we had 904. Now I'm going to end up with 263. That's a lot, but that's really manageable. Now we can start skimming them to see what do we have here in terms of articles. So this first one here, threat, authoritarianism, and voting, an investigation of personality and persuasion. right? So as I read this, it's a study about the types of persuasive messages to get people to vote and how and levels of authoritarianism in those messages. So that would be a good example for studying authoritarianism and its effect on persuasion or persuasiveness, right? We got a parental influence thing, so we probably don't want that one so much. But as we scroll through, you see some other things about childhood and whatnot, so those aren't going to work out quite as well. There is what I'm looking for, because I admit I did a dry run of this. Oh, here it is. I'm sorry, I went right past it. So there's this one here as well. Through the back door, personality factors predict acceptance of illegal zuhomen among Chinese people. And when you read about it, it's interesting. It's about whether or not people will engage in practices that aren't necessarily considered legal, and things like their authoritarianism as a determination of whether or not they engage in that. If we read into it further, we might find it's not a very good match, but initially it's enough that piques my interest that I might want to at least look at that article. Okay, and if you want to, of course, you could go down here and click next or click on those numbers and start looking at 10 more. Just showing you 10 at a time. So this first one looks pretty groovy, and so what we can do is click on Get at ETSU. Now sometimes you'll see this PDF full text, which means right there the PDF is going to be available to you. But with just a few more steps, you can actually get to the full article. And if you're just looking for those that have the PDF on them, you're not going to get as many hits. So I'm clicking Get at ETSU. It's opening up another screen. It's actually taking me back to a page in the library. So it's telling me that this is available full text. So we're able to see the full article here through a database called Sage Premier. But it wants us to sign in to get this, and it's going to be your ETSU sign-in, ETSU login information, right? The username and password. Clicking sign in, and of course now it's transferring me again. I signed in not that long ago, so it knows it's me. See, right up there, Berkeley Carl. Ugh, Berkeley Wesley, for crying out loud. Anyway, so there it is. I'm going to click on Sage Premier 2017, and it says Firefox is prevented, so I'm just going to click allow. Right. I want you to see some of these bumps along the way, so you see, oh, you might have to allow it to do a pop-up or a redirect. But what it's doing now is it's going into the database and it's pulling up the article. And so from first finding the article that I liked and doing the search to it pulling up, well, theoretically, it's starting taking a little bit of time here, is about 2 minutes, right, between finding an article I think I might like and actually seeing it. Although now, as I have you here watching me, it's taking a bit of time to redirect. But when it comes up, what you'll see actually is the entire article is there that you'll be able to go through and to read. Okay, here it is. I actually had to pause it and reload the thing. It just got sort of weird on me for a minute there, but that's okay. So as we scroll down, right, we just get the abstract here, but then look what it gives me right here. Sometimes you'll scroll down past the abstract and you have the whole article. This is all their sources, which could be a good place, by the way, to find other articles about what you're looking at, right? You look at the sources and see, when they write about authoritarianism, who did they look at to talk about authoritarianism, right? But then right there, I can download the PDF, and if I were just to click on that, just so you'll see it, right there, there it is. I got the article. So you're looking at like 2 minutes or so from finding the thing in a database to having it. And that was because I was willing to, back here on that list of results, I didn't just look for those that say PDF full text. I looked at Get at ETSU, didn't say PDF full text on it, but over here, I got the PDF full text, right? So again, just keep your mind open to those things. I'm going to take you back to the screen for a second, just to tell you that if you ever need to change the date range, that sort of stuff is there. You can add or remove search terms up here. If you want to add more things and you hit the plus button, it gives you another line. But if you're having problems finding articles, you should definitely reach out to me. And sometimes it's a matter of search terms, and the first thing I'll ask you is what search terms are you using, and I may suggest something a little different. I might tell you to use some different databases, but really these are some excellent databases, and I think you'll be happy with them. Okay, everybody, happy hunting.